Hello, I'm Steve Anderson here at Merrill Manufacturing Co. Here again talking about check valves. Had some questions that come up somewhat often in regards to check valve chatter. Well, check valve chatter is really because of most of the time it's a problem with the pressure tank. If you have a pressure tank in your system, there's a volume of air and a volume of water in the tank. The volume of water as it fills up compresses the air, and there's a separation medium or diaphragm between the two. Now, if the diaphragm ever gets a tear in it or ruptures, then there's not the separation that it should be, and the water will eventually absorb the air in the tank, and you have no cushion of air to maintain the water pressure. If you have no volume of air in that tank, when the pump turns on, it fills the tank up, and then it doesn't really build up any pressure because there isn't any air to compress to maintain the pressure. So as soon as you it builds up the pressure to the point that the pressure switch shuts the pump off, you use the water in the house or in the building, then the pressure drops in the tank quickly because there's no cushion of air to maintain that pressure. So then soon, boom, all of a sudden the pump will turn on again because the pressure dropped. So the pump will turn on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And in part of the system, you're going to hear the check valve chatter. On, off, on, off, on, off, because it's flowing the water and maintaining it as it's supposed to in a check valve to keep it from flowing backwards, which is the worst thing you want to do to a pump. So the problem really is not the check valve. The problem is most likely your pressure tank. And the only other thing is sometimes your problems, depending upon where your water source of supply is, people will talk about problems with their check valves that they needed to replace and what they need to do to them. Well, basically, if you have good water, you shouldn't need to do anything. But if you have problems with your check valve and it isn't the pressure tank and the chatter, it's probably because you have a lot of debris, sand, and other stuff flowing through your system that's getting in from the intake, wherever your water supply is coming from. And then you're pumping all that water through the valve, and any kind of debris or anything it's going to stick somewhere. Well, it's going to stick wherever it finds a restriction, and the restriction is the check valve. So you're going to build up all the junk and the debris of whatever type it is in the check valve, and that's going to cause your failure. It's not because the valve had a problem, it's because your source of supply has stuff in it that it shouldn't. So you probably ought to have a filter or something to filter that stuff out before it goes through the rest of your system. Besides, if you have a miscellaneous debris in your water, that's going to really cause problems with your faucets and everything else in the house. Showers, you name it, everything. So you really need to do something about that first. And then you won't have the problems that you have with what you think is the check valve when it's really your debris. Okay, thank you.